Hey guys, so you probably heard Rudy Giuliani came out yesterday or a couple of days ago. He said that he was more Jewish than George Soros. And of course, the Anti-Defamation League and all these, liberal groups, they came out, liberal Jewish groups, lefty groups came out and said, how dare he say that, blah, 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 this and that, fuel for anti-Semitism, blah, blah, blah. So, today on all my social media channels, on the Nation of Israel, I posted a video. It was an interview conducted by 60 Minutes in the 90s of George Soros. And I don't know if you guys know this. George Soros, how did he survive the war, World War II? He was taken in by some Catholic Hungarian family. He's from Hungary. He's a Jew from Hungary. And basically, he walked around with this guy, I guess the head of the family, as Jewish property was being confiscated. And so he was interviewed on 60 Minutes, and the interviewer asked him, do you feel bad about this? Do you have any remorse about this? And he said, no, anybody would have done it anybody else in my position would have done it, or meaning to say that, if it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be somebody else, And then he would have gone to the gas chambers. He was a kid. He was 14 years old, 15 years old, whatever it is. And so I posted this video, and some people responded, you're judging this guy for what he did, and you don't know what you would do in that situation. And I just had to tell you guys, I'm not judging him for what he did. I don't know what I would have done in that situation, but I could tell you what my issue is. My issue is his response, his lack of remorse, and on top of that, everything that he's done after that, which is basically to undermine Israel and undermine the Jewish people. He puts money to causes that espouse BDS, or that causes, or that organizations that meet regularly with people who are in favor of BDS. These organizations are called New Israel Fund, J Street, etc., etc., etc. If you guys want, you can go online, you can look up Soros's dealings. There's an organization he started called the Open Society Foundations, and under this Open Society Foundations, you have different things or places where the money goes, where George Soros's money, hard-earned money, goes. And pretty much since he started his career as a person in the finance industry, he's pretty much done that. He's pretty much been involved in that. So yes, you know what? Even if it's in jest, tongue-in-cheek comment, yes, Rudy Giuliani, even though he's not a Jew, he's probably more Jewish, quote-unquote Jewish, than George Soros himself. I'm sorry to tell you guys. For those of you listening who are I had somebody respond to me, just because he has left, what is it called? Liberal tendencies. I'm like, these are not liberal tendencies. I know people who are pro-Israel, but they have liberal tendencies. But people who are like, okay, Israel has a right to exist and all these kind of things. Okay, so they have, on a personal level, they have liberal tendencies. No, George Soros doesn't have liberal tendencies. He has tendencies to do things or put money towards things that destroy the land and the state of Israel. And by extension, the Jewish people. He has not done good things for the Jewish people. He has not. And if you ask him, honestly, I don't want to get into people's personal religious beliefs. The guy asked him, he's like, do you believe in God? Believe in God? No. Okay, fine. A lot of people came out from World War II, from the Holocaust, from everything that happened. And some people came out religious, some people came out, were religious, became atheists. Okay, fine. That's a whole philosophical discussion. I don't judge people for that. My issue is everything afterwards. If he sits down and he says he has no remorse for it, it seems to me that what he did was he took this episode that happened to him, he buried it deep, 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 deep in his mind, and what he probably told himself was, you know what? How do we get rid of anti-Semitism? We get rid of anti-Semitism by, eliminating the people who are the victims of it. Meaning, if there's no more Jews, there's no more anti-Semitism. It's very simple. The problem is the Jews are eternal. The Jews are going to continue, thriving and living. and yet anti-Semitism remains. You're not going to stop it by pretending that you're not Jewish or giving to these kind of globalist general causes. It's not going to stop anti-Semitism. So, to those of you guys who think I'm judging George Soros for what he did when he was a kid, no, I'm not judging for what he did when he was a kid or during the war. I have a problem with what he's done after that, which has been a abject disaster for Israel and the Jewish people. And if you guys want to know more, I suggest you Google George Soros, Open Society Foundations. You guys can also Google Aaron Klein made it's called I think the name of the website is called something Networks. I'll look up the name and I'll post it with this video. It's basically outlines all of the organizations that George Soros and that Open Society Foundations funds, and you could literally trace a lot of these back. Forget about all this other stuff with the AOC and all this, all these organizations, illegal immigration, all these things. A lot of it goes towards a lot of stuff going against Israel. A lot of organizations and movements and entities going against Israel. You can look this stuff up, folks. This is not made up conspiracy theories. So, to answer the assertion or the idea, is Giuliani more Jewish than George Soros? I hate to say it. Most likely, yes. Hak Sameach, everybody.